Hello Eurovision friends, thank you for coming to my channel Eurovision Histories. Zdravo dragi gledalci iz Srbije, dobrodošli na moj kanal. Today I want to talk about the Serbian entry for Eurovision 2025, which is Mila by Princ. He won Pesmasa Eurovisiu, the Serbian national final, yesterday. It's a bit of a controversial win because he came second with the juries and third in the televote, which is not a great starting position not to have won either of the votes. But the winner of the televote, Bojana and David, got no points from the jury. And I wanted to look at your votes from the community tab of my channel, and you can see that 50%, 53% actually gave this 1 or 2 stars. So it seems to be a bit of a controversial winner. But it is the Serbian entry, so I will be looking at different aspects of the song and performance, giving points from 1 to 5. And we will also try to predict how Serbia will do at Eurovision. Will this be able to qualify? And then we'll also look at your comments from the community tab of my channel. We already saw your votes. If you want to participate in that and maybe see one of your comments in one video, you gotta subscribe to the channel. Now, I always start by looking at the lyrics of these songs, and here we have very stereotypical romantic love song lyrics in a way, which is fine, but they don't strike me as particularly creative. I have to say, it starts by him saying, basically, it's about a relationship that either has ended or is about to end. And he starts with some interesting references like, let this be my last supper and let the eyes of Kerberos follow me into the night. But then he also says, and this left me a teeny tiny bit confused what exactly he means by this. You paid for me loving you. You brought me back from the edge, basically, but you have many reasons to love someone else. But I care so much to keep you or shelter you. Here, I'm not quite sure how to translate the čuvam, because when I translate it to English, it says keep, and when I translate it to German, it says something more like shelter you or protect you. And depending on which way you go, the lyrics have a very different feel to them. So maybe you could help me understand what exactly he means by that. If he means keep, I'm like, dude, if she doesn't want you, just move on, okay? If he means shelter, that gives it a bit of a different feel to me. However, pretty standard lyrics, nothing too interesting about them. And so in the end, I decided to give half the points I have, 2.5 for these lyrics. Now, the voice. Obviously, he can sing, he knows how to sing. With everything that he does on that stage, he still manages to hit the notes. I saw the semi-final performance and he seemed a teeny tiny bit off in a few parts, but he really brought it for the final. So it kind of makes sense that a jury would like something like this because they look at good vocals. In the final, he was on point. The vocals are very soft and rich, but he also manages to soar with the song, with the intensity of the song. He also manages to intensify his vocal performance. So there are some vocal acrobatics in here where he can really show his vocal abilities, and that's a good thing for Eurovision. And in the end, I love voices like this. It seems very soothing to me as well. And so in the end, I gave 5 points for the voice. Now, for the performance, he does have the charisma you need to sell a song like this. I think there's a bit of a tension between his look and the kind of song that he sings, which might be interesting. It's a bit strange to me, to be honest. The main problem I have here is that we can barely see him. And when you sing a ballad, you really need to connect to the singer. And it takes almost a minute till we finally see his face and what the emotion he has on his face. And that's a bit of a problem with the way this is staged, I think. We need to see more of him, more close-ups, a more intimate way of performing this as well. And so in the end, I decided to give 3.5 because he has the potential, but you really need to improve the way it is done. Now, for the staging, you notice that a lot of thought and work went into this. It was a full package. However, for me personally, and this is my personal subjective opinion, this staging was all wrong for this kind of performance. It's a bit cringe with all the stereotypical stuff they threw at us with the rose and the moon, and he's lowered from the ceiling, and you have the dancer, and he touches her cheek and all of that. It's way too much. It's over choreographed to me. And I mean, the dancer is fine because you need something to fill that instrumental part in the song, but everything else just seemed way overdone and way too much. And I mean, there are so many beautiful instruments in this song. The instrumentation is really what makes the song interesting to me. But what you don't see on that stage, you see everything basically, but you don't see the instruments being played. I think that would add a lot of intimacy to the performance, focus way more on him. So to me, this is not the right staging for this song, and I gave 1.5 points for the effort, basically. Now to the song. This was my number one in my video on SERBIE EUROVISION, my personal top, and there is a reason for that, and it is the instrumentation in the song. I just love all the different elements there are to it, the piano, the guitar. Every instrument gets a moment to shine. He gets a moment to shine with his voice. There's an a cappella part. You have the instrumental part. And I really like that. I love how the song grows in intensity towards the end. The choir elements, that's something I really love. And how the electric guitars come in at the end as well. The structure is a bit strange, but to me personally, that is something that makes the song interesting. The last minute is kind of chaotic and you don't really know where the song is going, but to me, that makes it intriguing in a way. I've seen a lot of people say that this is like a very old-fashioned Balkan ballad, and yes, it is. And also a bit like a Disney song, and I agree with that as well. So if Disney ever makes a movie about the Balkans, this might be the kind of song that they have in the movie. But I like Disney songs and I like old-fashioned Balkan ballads. And as this is my personal subjective opinion, I gave this 4.5 points for the song. Now the song counts 3 times, the staging counts twice, and that gives us an overall point total of 3.5 points for Serbia. If they change the staging, make this way more intimate, this might grow a lot in my estimation. I'm guessing a lot of you have a different opinion. Let me know in the comments what you thought of this song. Now, before I tell you my prediction whether Serbia will be able to qualify, do subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. Only a third of you watching this video are, and if you don't want to miss any of my videos, you gotta subscribe. And also to participate in the votes in the community tab of my channel. Now, will Serbia be able to qualify with this song? I always look at the semifinal the country is in, and as you can see, Serbia is in semifinal 2 this year. There is a bit of support with Montenegro being in the same semifinal. We also have countries with big diasporas like Germany, Austria, Ireland, I think, UK maybe, Australia as well. And then there are countries like Ireland that might go for a ballot like this. However, I'm not sure how supportive the diaspora will be this year. We also have some ballots already in the semifinal. We have Greece, we have Montenegro with a sort of Balkan ballot in the national language as well, so that might hurt both of them. I think Montenegro is actually hurt by this a bit more. Serbia is in the second half, which will help because it will be more memorable, but not looking all that great, just looking at the semifinal. However, looking at the qualification rate, Serbia has a great qualification rate, 88% in the last 10 editions, and a 6-year qualification streak, so really, really good. They obviously managed to qualify last year, so that all looks pretty good. However, this is a televote only semifinal, which doesn't mean that a ballot cannot qualify, but we have other ballots in this semifinal, mostly Greece, but also Montenegro, where televoters that like ballots might gravitate to, and they might not vote for this. I'm not sure about the support of the diaspora either. So in the end, I think, and also looking at the songs that are in this semifinal, lots of songs that are very televote friendly and that might be able to convince more televoters to vote for it. I can see at least 10, to be honest. And so I'm predicting that this might not be a qualifying entry for Serbia. I think it will be very borderline, so he might still make it. And then if he makes it to the final and the juries come in, they will really love his voice. They might like the composition as well. If they change the staging, he might even convince more televoters and he might be able to qualify. But at the moment, I don't really see it. Also, I have to start saying that some countries don't qualify because I've been predicting that basically everyone will qualify. So this might be one that might struggle a bit. That is my prediction. If you have a different prediction, let me know in the comments. And let's look at your comments from the community tab of my channel. As we saw, 53% gave this 1 or 2 stars and only 5% 5 stars, which is not a great start. Dervis says, I think this is our first song that is dead on Arrival. So sorry you have to feel that way. Then 828 says, I don't see anything wrong with this song. Actually, one of the better ballads this year, and happy this won Serbia's national final. Hope it will qualify, even though I'm not so sure of it. And then Marina says, this is not our choice. This is a setup, showing you that it's a bit controversial. Virginia Visionary says, in a sea of adventurous out-of-the-box entries, the simplicity of this song will help it stand out. That is actually a good argument and might be an argument for it qualifying. I think plenty of viewers will gravitate towards it as it feels warm and familiar. And Joab says, luckily for them, Montenegro is in the same semi-final as them, but still, I think this will non-qualify. Considering that Serbia's worst result ever were finishing 11th in the semi-final twice, I think this could break that record. I do think if this does not manage to qualify, it will be in 11th or 12th place, not lower than that. Centaur says, it is a beautiful song, calm, nice vocals, but that's about it. Although it will be a nice break from everything crazy that's in Semi 2. But aside from that, I don't see Serbia qualifying this year, unfortunately. And then Joanna Makiewska says, must be a nice feeling that your favorite won. When it comes to the song, it still is one of my favorites, but some other songs that were in the national final actually grew on me a bit more. And I grew a teeny tiny bit tired of this one because, I don't know, it is a bit generic in a way as well. Princ has a charming voice and magical staging, she also says, to support it. The only thing I'm worried about is the dancer getting a headache or worse from that constant spinning. I do hope it's safe. I'm sure they made sure that it is safe. Do let me know in the comments how you like the entry, whether you think Serbia will be able to qualify, and do subscribe to my channel, and then I might see you for my next video. See you then, and bye-bye.